Hello and welcome to the Rest is Football question and answer episode with me, Gary Lineker, Micah Richards and Alan Shearer. Are you ready for some good questions, chaps?
Indeed.
Let's go. We're ready.
Fire away.
These have all come via our newsletter. And if you've not signed up to it yet, please do so. Just go to the restisfootball.com. And let's start with Oliver Forbes says, what is the most ridiculous thing you ever purchased with your footballing wages?
Micah, over to you.
Drum roll, please. There's so many ridiculous things I bought. Honest to God.
A tin of creosote?
Because, we talk about money and we have to put it in context because sometimes on the podcast, we're not gloating, we're just telling you how the lifestyle is. So if you go from 500 quid a week to $5,000 a week, it's ridiculous, isn't it? So 500 quid a week, I might have got an iPhone, which might have been 600 quid back in the day. But then you go to $5,000 a week and you're getting sort of 25 grand out of a month with bonuses and everything. I remember I bought Aston Martin DB9 convertible. Ooh. And it was, I remember the rims. It was in black with cream interior. And I used to drive it at night with my roof down. And to match, I bought myself a diamond Jacob watch. And I've still got it now. Honest to God, it's worth nothing.
So you could drive with your arm out the window when the roof was down or the windows were down at night time.
I had the shades on. What did I have on? Back then it was...
Micah, I just knew that you'd have cream seats. I don't know why.
I like that fancy lifestyle. I had cream seats. And what else did I have? I had there was a brand called Ed Hardy. H and John will know about this. The producers will know about this. And Christine Oliger. And I went to Miami and I bought the whole thing. And I had the Von Dutch caps and all that. And I just thought I was the man. Literally. There was so much ridiculousness.
When did you work out, Micah, that perhaps you weren't the man?
Probably about 21.
I very much doubt Alan and myself can match those particular answers.
We best not even go there, Gary. We might as well just go to the next question.
Nige says, when playing against mates or international colleagues in club matches, e.g. Alan versus Razor Ruddock, Gary versus Des Walker, Micah versus Zabaleta. Well, you played with him. Actually, you were against him in many ways, but in a different way. Was there much friendly crack or joking, or was it as if you didn't know each other and just had a battle until after the game? Any friendships lost due to what went on in the game, or all forgotten?
It's got to be all forgotten.
It was all forgotten.
You've got to say things before and during. That's fine, and we know what happened with me and Razor when we came to blows on the pitch. But then afterwards, it's like
No, tell us what happened, Alan. Tell us what happened with you and Razor.
Well, we were decent good friends that used to live near each other down in Southampton, and when he was at Liverpool and I played in Blackburn, and then we played Liverpool, Blackburn at Ewood Park, and there was, there's a usual banter going on, and this is going to happen, and honestly, we came with a crunch and tackle. He tried to do me, he actually stood on me. So we both got up and sort of grabbed each other by the throat and the top, and I'm thinking, oh my God, what's going on here? But then we shook hands afterwards and had a pint in the players' lounge.
When you have a little scuffle like that with someone that you know, is there a moment where you're both in each other's faces where you think, what the fuck am I doing here? And you're a bit cringe or awkward.
And now honestly, I've got him by the scruff of the neck, and I'm thinking, I'm godparent to one of his kids here. I'm trying to think.
Brilliant.
It's like, oh God, yeah. But then, as I said, I had a pint afterwards. It was soon forgotten.
You had any of those, Micah?
No, I was a lover, not a fighter, you know. Honestly, it takes me a while to go. Big Meech is a lover, everyone knows that. But I did play against Daniel Sturridge when he was I was at Villa and he was at Liverpool. And we was together in the academy at Man City, and he was the main player back then. But every time he used to play against me, I used to just go hard and crunch him early doors. But like, he was always intelligent, so he always used to peel off into little spaces where I wouldn't want to go. And he never used to get past me. I used to foul him anyway if he did get past me. And then fast forward a couple of years, I'm texting him the night before. We're at Villa, we're at Anfield, and I'm going to smash you tomorrow. Absolutely destroy you. I've got your number. I was your boss in the academy. I was the captain. You bow to me. So tomorrow, let's see. Honest to God, the first time he got the ball, he absolutely twisted me. And I was like, this is not the same Daniel Sturridge I remember from the academy. He was just a different level. He scored in that goal. And you know what? He didn't speak to... So I'm trying to speak to him throughout the game thinking, horrible. You know, like getting his head. He wouldn't speak to me. And then as soon as he scored or assisted in the game, he just looked at me and just laughed. And then I texted him after and said, don't speak to me for a couple of days. Audible.
I don't think I ever faced up to anyone. I was just worried they might hit me. Des Walker's always a chatterbox though on the pitch. When he mentions Des Walker in the question, and he was always chatty whenever we played. And I used, Cloughie always getting him to mark me, so I'd take him out wide, and he's going, "Oh, you're doing that again," and all this. He was chatting away, but never. I don't think I had anything nasty with anyone that actual players that I knew. It's the best way to beat them, I always thought, was banging it in the net. Ken asks, "What is the most unfair thing you have ever seen a manager do to a player?" Ooh. You don't have to name names if you can't. Although it would be great if you could, but would be good to hear some examples. Ooh.
What a great question that is.
I told you about the story, didn't I, when Chris Nicholl chucked a pint of milk at the wall in the dressing room with Mark Dennis. Yeah. And then had a huge fight with him the next day because Mark came in back with I think he came back with his dad and his brother to fight the manager.
With his dad and his brother?
Yeah, the next day he came in, yeah. Because he accused him of not giving his all, and there was a huge fight, and there was glass all over the dressing room floor, and then everyone was off the next day, but I was in as an apprentice cleaning all the shit up. And Mark Dennis came in with his dad and his brother to fight the manager.
Alan, I've got to ask you to tell. I mean, I think you told it years ago on something else, that the other one that he did where he goes around the dressing room. Chris Nicholl.
Oh yeah, he accused everyone of there was I don't know, everyone sat there and he's going absolutely berserk at everyone, and he goes around the dressing room and he goes, shit, and he got to, I think it was Tim Flowers, and he went, wanker. shit. And I'm thinking, he's coming to me in a minute. God.
Did he come to you?
Come to me, he went, okay.
Listen, teacher's pet. Teacher's pet.
No, I was actually only a youngster. I was petrified what he was going to come and say or do to me. That was a tough dressing room to be brought up.
The Jock Wallace one with me when he pinned me up against the dressing room wall was, which I've told the story many times. That was probably the worst thing that ever happened to me when I thought my career was over. Micah, anyone? Any examples?
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Not you. He says to any players.
No,
I mean,
apart from nearly fighting, I've told about Mancini and Balotelli many times. I think the most demoralising is from when a manager sends you to train with the reserves or the under-23s. It doesn't have to be physical. Like you're a professional footballer, you work so hard to get to this place, and then you're training with under-23s. Some of the players are like 16, 17.
Did that ever happen to you, Mike?
Yes, I was... it was under... Well, it was sort of... It's a hard story to explain. It's a long story to explain. So basically, long story short, my knee was not what it was supposed to be under Remy Gard. Remy Gard messed up my knee. And then Di Matteo came in, tried to give me a chance. I broke down. And then Steve Bruce came in, give me a chance. I got injured in the first game with my hamstring. So afterwards, we sort of had a conversation like, what do you want to do? Do you want to get paid up, or do you want to... And I was like, no, I want to fight for my position. And he was like, oh, well, let's see. And then Steve Bruce let me train for a while. And then Bruce left. Then Dean Smith came. And like, I think we had this conversation before, but John Terry was now the assistant manager. And I'm speaking to all the lads in the dressing room and all that. And I think I'm having a stormer in training. I get the curly finger. I think, I'm part of the plans. And then JT said the gaffer wants to see you. And JT, you know what? JT, I'm calling you out, JT. He was my mate. He was my man. You know what I mean? He was in the dressing room with me. He could have just told me, look, it's bad news. He let the suspense go on for a while. And Dean Smith basically said to me, your knee's not right. You're slowing down the play. I think...
You were waiting for good news.
And I think it's best if you go train with the under-23s. And then I go back into the dressing room, and all the players said, "Are you in with the lads? Are you in with the lads?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm in with the lads. The gaffer wants to have another look at me. 2 minutes ago, he's told me to go train with the 23s. I've only lied to the lads in the dressing room."
What an embarrassment!
The embarrassment!
Because you were too ashamed to tell them, really?
I couldn't tell him. I was too embarrassed to tell him. And then you know what it was? It was like, so now I've told them, and I'm like believing my own lie, so come in. So I get in about 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I say to the physio, look, I don't want to train with the 23s. I'm not with the first team now. Can we just have an agreement where you basically I'm not quite ready to train, and I've got to sort my hamstring and my knee out, and in the end I made some story about my knee. And to be honest, a lot of the players don't even know this, so they'll be howling at this story. Oh, honest to God.
Here's one that I saw this as well. Tom Hall. I did spot this on social media. He says, I saw on social media this week a picture of Alan with his head inside a crocodile's mouth with Arnold Schwarzenegger looking on. Utterly bizarre. Is it photoshopped, or did this actually happen? I imagine it was AI. I can't... You would have told us if you'd have had your head in a crocodile's mouth.
No, that happened. That was, I don't know, last year or the year before, when I was in America with the Premier League.
What?
Yeah, and we went to his office, to Arnie's office for an afternoon, and he entertained us. And he
you could have said Schwarzenegger in one of your top.
Yeah, handshake poker. Where he's
I forgot about that. Yeah, you've just reminded me.
Actually, I've met him as well at a golf club.
Oh, right. Okay. And he said, "Come on, this is a great photo opportunity." And I'm thinking, really, is it?
This is
and I laid on his floor and he got this life-size crocodile out from underneath his pool table. Come on, he said, get on the floor. It's a great opportunity. And he was lining up one of his, like he was in one of his films. And I thought, I'm going to look a right dick here, by the way.
Well, you did, Alan. I can confirm you did.
So that was it. It was actually, real in his office.
I honestly thought, and I did say it, and I thought, that's quite a good AI job. I genuinely thought that cannot have possibly happened. And it did.
It did.
Dominic, he asks, if Real Madrid joined the Premier League for this season, would they win the title? Thank you and greetings from the Czech Republic. Well, they'd struggle because it's already January. I think it obviously means from the start of the season. You could, I suppose, not just Real Madrid, but someone else. I think a Real Madrid side of 5-6 years ago would have had a hell of a chance of winning the league. I suspect this particular Real Madrid side would be a little bit short. I don't know.
If they join next year and they've got Mbappe, maybe.
That's a good shout.
Good shout.
Mbappe, Bellingham, Vinicius Jr. would take
Just
some
a bit.
stopping, wouldn't they?
It's not fair, that, is it? It's just not fair. I would probably say no. Because it's still got
This
to
season.
adapt to the Premier League. It's tough, isn't it? But yeah, I would say no. I'd say second or third.
Question from Ugo. Since AFCON is on, aside from JJ Okocha and Yaya Toure, who are the best African footballers you played with, against, or watched in the Premier League? Well, we've watched a lot of great ones, haven't we? Including, and still got with Mo Salah is here. I'd mentioned Riyad Mahrez.
Drogba.
Drogba, questionably.
Played against him very early. I think Marseille when he was at Marseille, and I didn't see many people give Jonathan Woodgate the runaround, but he gave him a tough time when he knew he was going to be something special. He was brilliant. He was unbelievable.
I can't think of any that I actually played with. I played against obviously some great ones, particularly in World Cups against Cameroon. Roger Miller,
the dancing.
The dancing when by the corner flag he used to. Woo, and all that. Micah, you would have played against with many African players, including Yaya.
Yaya Toure, the best. We've talked about him a lot. But the question I wanted to ask you guys, since we're talking about African players, Lucas Radaby, Alan.
Lucas Radaby, yeah, played against him, always scored against him. What a lovely guy he was, eh? Oh, he is.
Yakubu was good. Adebayor, Kolo Toure. There was some great African players.
A question from Chris Orm. Are there any unexpected perks to being a footballer or pundit that don't get talked about but actually make the job even sweeter?
Be careful what we say here, because we work for the BBC, and whatever we say, don't forget the taxpayers' money. So let's just say when you work for PLP, Alan, or when you work for Sky, and Gary, when you're doing one of your podcasts.
Perks. What perks do you get then, Micah?
Perks, I don't get any perks at the BBC. I haven't got any hide anything. I don't know about you, Alan. I think Alan's similar and possibly mine. We have a big table. A big table, and on it are like chocolates and sweets and crisps and stuff like that. And every week I go, obviously I'm going to eat the crisps anyway, regardless. But every week I said, right, leave the chocolate alone. And even before the 3 o'clock game kicks off, I'm in. And once you're in, it's like you're off all day and eating the chocolate. So, I mean, I'm not sure whether that's a perk, but that's about as much as you'll get from the Beeb.
And then you wake up Sunday morning thinking, why the fuck did I eat all that chocolate for?
You're the same, aren't you? Yeah, it's just everyone does it. And what about your perks at CBS, Micah?
Well, I was letting you finish. You know.
We all know that CBS and basically Television America has, let's say, much huger perks than we get, certainly in terms of salary.
They got deep pockets. The phrase is, no, I would just say we're going to the Super Bowl. I mean, the invited.
Yes. That's soon, isn't it?
Yes, it's in a couple of weeks. And we don't
know
the
been
teams.
Before?
I've been to Vegas before, but I couldn't quite possibly tell you the last time I was in Vegas. It's not for this.
Yeah, probably because you can't remember.
It's not for our listeners.
I think they disagree.
maybe we should do a live podcast once from Vegas. Come on, see if we can get it going.
Here's a question from Sam Dowson. Who are the 3 most famous, most impressive people you have met and shaken hands with? I want to see which one of you can make the best top 3.
David Beckham.
Oh, we've all done that.
David, we've all done that. I mean,
the Queen.
The Queen.
Yeah, I've done that as well, Alan.
The King.
Yeah. The King. Yeah, I've done that as well.
The Prince.
All the Royals, yeah.
There you go. Then we're not topping that, then, are we? Are we?
This is world famous. All right, I'll throw one in that might just top that.
Go on.
Nelson Mandela.
Oh yes.
Oh, that's a goodie, isn't it? Nelson Mandela.
Biggie.
I missed him. We went on a pre-season tour to South Africa, and I was injured, shock, and they all got to meet him. Oh, I was absolutely gutted. I missed him.
All right, I'm going to throw another one in here. Not bad. I'm going a bit further afield. Spielberg.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
It's not bad. Come on, let's get a bit of competition going here. I'm just walking it. It's too easy. It's too easy, this game.
Well, you have got an extra 20 years on us. When we get to that age, we might have been shaking hands with a few more famous people.
And Barbara Streisand. There's another. Had dinner with
Barbara Streisand.
There you go. Yeah, so posh. And the winner is
Sherry. You take it, hands down.
A question from Anthony McMorrow. Is technique, first touch, spatial awareness, peripheral vision, etc., like Phil Foden's, for example, a gift, or did he learn it and work hard at it? Who had the best techers of anyone you played with? Firstly, I think there's a mixture of you're born with it because you can't become that good a footballer without having an absolute natural born talent. But you also have to work hard at it and practice, don't you?
And it's how you grasp it and understand it. If you're quicker than others, but there's no doubt you can work on anything. You can work on your technique, your touch, and all of that. But yeah, you can definitely make yourself better.
I would agree with that. It's hard, isn't it? Because sometimes you see the players who are really good early doors and afterwards they're not that. And then some players who are not so good early doors and then by their 16, 17, they've turned into really good players. But to have something like Foden, I think that is God-given talent.
You've always got to have the attitude.
Exactly. Attitude, yeah.
The other part of that question was who's got the best techers that you ever played with?
Nasri, David Silva.
Techers being skills for those of my generation that don't know that word.
Letizier.
Gaza with the most natural. John Barnes.
Paul Scholes.
Micah, who's yours?
Nasri, David Silva. Wonderful technique.
Isaac, who is one teammate that never failed to make you laugh, whether it was banter, nicknames, or just generally being clueless? Well, he wasn't clueless, but there's only one man, and I'm sure Alan's answer will be the same, and that is a certain Paul Gascoigne. Every single day he would do something silly, funny, daft that would have you absolutely crying with laughter.
Well, I only had him with England. Obviously, I wasn't at a club with him, but those 6 or 7 weeks that you spent apart, and you get back with him, he certainly more than made up for the time away. He was just relentless, wasn't he? What a guy to be around, and unbelievable.
You know, it's quite funny. James Milner. And everyone thinks he's straight-laced and
who plays on the fact that he's supposed to be boring, James Milner, but he's far from
so
it. Clearly.
Witty. He's so witty, like the little things that he comes out with, and he's so sarcastic, and he's just he's got it. I think he's gonna do TV when it finishes. I really do. I think he's that right if he wants to. I mean, he's got so much money, he doesn't need to do anything, doesn't he? But
he'll probably play for another 10 years.
Yeah, he probably would. But
he'll get the Premier League record appearances, won't he? Is he second now? He'll
behind Gareth Barry.
Carl Honer. I remember Alan being interviewed once, and he said that one of his high-performance secrets was he had a meal of chicken and beans before every match. 1. Did Alan continue this for his whole career? 2. Is there a normal pre-match meal now? 3. Who had the weirdest pre-match meal, and what was it? Well, chicken and beans is pretty... Is that true?
Yeah.
Did you get jet-propelled farts around the pitch? Was that the secret?
Maybe that's why no one could keep up with me. No, I had chicken and beans once at Blackburn, yeah. And I think I managed to score. I scored a hat-trick that day, and for some weird reason, someone asked me, about my pre-match meal afterwards, and I said, "Well, yeah, I just had chicken and beans," and then I had it for years afterwards. Yeah, my very first pre-match meal was actually a fillet steak.
Same.
I made my debut at 17 at Southampton.
Absolutely.
And the only reason I thought I had it was I looked at Jimmy Case because the guy said to me, "What do you want for pre-match meal?" And Jimmy Case, who was sat next to me, went, "I'll have fillet steak," and I went, "Bloody hell, fillet steak! I've never had. I'll have fillet steak, yeah, from a pre-match meal." And I only had it because I never ever had it before.
Exactly the same. I was thinking, "Oh, what fillet steak? Oh, I love that as well." Probably the worst.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's probably one of the worst things you could probably have 3 hours before kickoff or something.
It's all moved on now, hasn't it, Micah?
Micah, what do you have? Pigs in blankets, about 400 of them, or?
I used to have an omelette, just an omelette, keep it nice and clean.
Yeah.
Chicken omelette, keep it nice and clean, yeah.
Chicken omelette. It's quite an unusual filling for an omelette.
Proteins, you know?
Yeah, no, I know, I get it, but it's not
Is that enough for big weeks? A chicken omelette? Was that enough to get you through 90 minutes?
63 eggs, Al. 63 eggs. Oh, here's a good one. Slightly cheeky, but a good one from Stephen Addison. As they are behind in the league, are Bayern Munich a worse team with Harry Kane?
Very good, very good.
And the answer
what's
is...
the
It's becoming a running joke, this now, isn't it? I'll tell you at the end of the season.
Well, Bayer Leverkusen dropped a couple of points. A goalless draw the other day, so the gap is closing. 5 points with a game in hand, so I'm sure Harry can turn it around. Kevin Johnson, how much difference is there among the general fitness of outfield players in the Premier League? Who was the fittest player you ever played with?
James Milner.
James Milner again features.
He's not normal. He's a machine. Honest to God, he's winning like the runs when he was like 30 odd, and he's still winning runs when he was at Liverpool. I'm sure he's still winning them at Brighton as well. He's not a normal. He's just he's a robot. He's a machine. Yeah. I don't know how. Give me that fitness. I'll be one of the greatest players ever.
When this used to set us off in runs in pre-season.
That took you a while to put me up.
Did you just say what I thought you said, Micah?
One of the greatest players ever in my head, I said. You didn't let me finish in my head.
Yeah, no, I
in my head.
Yes, obviously.
I hated running. Hated. You know the pre-season runs we used to go on? Is like when we used to do it, when I first went to Newcastle, Kevin Keegan used to set them off on a cross-country run. And he used to set the shit runners off first. So they went first, and then 2 minutes later, then there's the other ones, and then the really fit ones were like 5 minutes back. And I still always used to come last. No matter how much head start I had, I was always last. And I used to shout, "Just get the fucking balls out, will you? Forget the running lock."
I was exactly the same. Give me sprints, I could do those. And we used to do like really tough stuff with Venables, like 200-metre sprints and then jogged the next 200 and then 200-metre sprint again, did about 12, and it was killer. But that was, I could kind of handle that. But those long runs, just useless. Just didn't have it in me. But the question is, who were the fittest players? You've answered it. I'm trying to think. The players that could just run all day.
Gary Speed was unbelievably fit as well. He was always ones that was set off last, so he could run all day. But he had the ability to match it as well. Bless him. Maybe
someone like Brian Robson. It's those box to box players that just run forever all day.
Exactly.
Possibly Brian. David, hi guys. In a different podcast, Patrick Bamford said he rang Gary for advice. Was that unexpected, and what was it like trying to help him? Alan and Micah, have any players ever got in touch with you to ask for advice? A few months ago, I got a direct message on Twitter /X from Patrick saying he heard, I think I might have been discussing it on here or with you guys. He said, I heard you talking about making runs and strikers, how you can improve your game. And he said, I wondered if you could give me like 10, 20 minutes on the phone at some point and perhaps give me some advice. So I replied saying, absolutely, of course, and swap numbers. And he called me. I had 20 minutes just talking about your movement and how my whole ethos about gambling on attacking space. And he listened, and then he played the next game, and he didn't score. So, but yeah, he was. He was. Seemed like a really good guy, really smart, wanting to learn. And I actually said to him, "You are the first person." That's what he talked about on this podcast, because I have seen the clip. He said, "You are the first." I said to him, "You are the first person that has ever asked me any advice, any striker at any time," which I suppose, people wouldn't do it past to be a bit too shy. They would, that sort of thing is probably the reason. But I mean, if social media had been around when I played, and which gives you the opportunity possibly to contact, players that have reached the top in your particular area, I think I would have tried to reach out a little bit and perhaps ask for a bit of advice. So, but have you ever had anything like that?
Not for football.
Well, I'm not saying anything that he wouldn't want me to say, because he said it himself. I think a couple of years ago, I don't know, 18 months ago, Sean Longstaff rang about goal scoring and shooting and what have you. He wanted to add more goals to his game. Yeah. And he scored on Saturday when I was there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, not a great deal, no.
Micah? No, of course no one would they? Surely.
Not for football reasons. I'm like the counsellor. Honest. Since I've retired, the amount of... I can't even... Well, people have rung me about different issues and whatnot. I need to start charging people, don't I?
What are they calling you about, Micah?
Just how to deal with social media and that sort of thing. And
how not to spend your money.
Basically, since that clip when I said I spent all that money and I turned down that big contract, people have been messaging me left, right and centre saying, how do you manage your money and what is this the right thing to do and all that sort of thing. It's incredible. It's madness. Ooh. But football related, no. Nothing.
I think that might be the perfect way to finish. So thank you once again for your questions. Much appreciated. If you'd like to ask a question for future episodes, just sign up to our newsletter. It's absolutely free. Just go to therestisfootball.com for all the information. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me. Thanks, everyone.